If you think U.S.-Europe relations are solid, think again. The world order is shifting fast. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll understand why America is making this move and what it means to you. Comment below, should America still prioritize Europe or is it time to focus elsewhere? Europe, it's no longer America's top ally. For the better part of a century, Europe was America's most important friend. World War II ended and Washington poured money into rebuilding the continent. The Cold War began and Europe became ground zero for America's strategy to contain the Soviet Union. NATO, U.S. military bases, Marshall Plan investments, Europe was the front line of the free world. But that was then and this is now. Europe today isn't the powerhouse that it once was. Its economy is stagnating, its military capabilities are embarrassingly weak, and politically it's falling apart. Germany, the supposed economic engine of Europe, is dealing with soaring energy costs and deindustrialization. France, for all its nuclear weapons and global ambitions, can't even hold on to its influence in Africa. And then there's the European Union, a bureaucratic mess that struggles to agree on basic policies, let alone act as a true geopolitical force. The real turning point, it came with Ukraine. When Russia invaded, Europe's response was immediate outrage, but no real ability to back it up. It has been Washington that sent weapons, provided intelligence, and made sure Kyiv didn't fall in the first weeks. The Europeans, they spent months arguing over tanks and ammunition. If that's how they handle a crisis in their own backyard, why should America keep treating them like a top-tier ally? And that brings us to the real question. If not Europe, then who? America's new focus, the Indo-Pacific. While Europe stumbles, another region has America's full attention, Asia, more specifically, China. Beijing isn't just rising, it's actively challenging U.S. dominance, and Washington knows it. That's why the future of U.S. foreign policy isn't about Berlin or Paris anymore, it's about Tokyo, New Delhi, and Canberra. China's Navy is now the largest in the world, at least by sheer numbers. Its military expansion in the South China Sea is creating a direct threat to global trade routes. And the big one, Taiwan. If China moves on Taiwan, it won't be some European diplomatic crisis. It'll be a war that reshapes the entire global economy. This is why Trump's administration is pushing hard on trade deals and military partnerships in the Indo-Pacific. Japan and South Korea are rapidly increasing their defense budgets. Australia, it's investing in nuclear submarines through AUKUS. Even India, long seen as neutral, is shifting closer to Washington. Europe doesn't want to hear it, but these are the allies that actually matter now. Europe doesn't have aircraft carriers patrolling the Pacific. It doesn't have navies capable of countering China. It's barely keeping up with its own regional problems. And Washington knows it. Last, Europe is losing its free ride. For decades, Europe got a sweet deal. The U.S. guaranteed its security while Europe focused on welfare programs and economic integration. That era is over. Trump made it clear when he told NATO members they needed to pay up or face the consequences. And the truth is, he wasn't wrong. The entire NATO alliance depends on the U.S. military. Without American funding, bases, and nuclear deterrence, Europe would be scrambling. Defense resources are being reallocated, and Washington is signaling that Europe needs to step up or fend for itself. What does this mean? It means European countries will either start building real militaries or they'll become strategically irrelevant. It means NATO as we know it is becoming a secondary priority. And it means the next global conflict won't be decided in Brussels, it'll be decided in the South China Sea. The world order that existed since 1945 is over. And for the first time in nearly a century, Europe isn't the center of the action. The shift is already happening. Europe is fading, Asia is rising, and America is choosing where its future lies. If you're still thinking in Cold War terms, you're behind the times. The 21st century isn't about Berlin and London anymore. It's about Beijing and New Delhi. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The world is changing fast and we'll be here to break it down for you. This is Frank for America's Geopolitics. See you next time.